Hello, my loves. Welcome back to another episode of Jill's Journal. I believe this is episode number 7. Oh my god, I probably screwed up those numbers because I screwed them up last week too. So you're probably like, oh, she said 5, but it's actually 6, and I don't even fucking know. But welcome back. We are riffing. What are we riffing on today? Oh, one thing I really have to say is that I stand with all women and persons who are very upset over the overturning of Roe v. Wade. I am here for you. My platform is a safe space. I'm very much pro-choice. I'm very much pro-abortion. And I just want to say that if you are pro-life, if you believe that a woman's body is not her own and that she is merely a host to host a child, we do not vibe, and please don't ever buy any of my stuff. Let me just say that. I have very clear values when it comes to that, and I believe that a woman's choice is her own, and nothing infuriates me more as a woman who has ADHD and feeling like somebody is trying to tell me what I can do with my body. You know, like, people don't get abortions just because they want to, and even if they do want to, why is that any of your fucking business? You know, it's the same thing with how they're talking about now that Roe v. Wade is being overturned and like left up to the states. Now there's other things that are on the docket, like gay marriage, which is another thing. And I'm like, why do we care what people want to do with their lives? Let people live their lives. Let people exist, you know? Anyways, that's my stance. And as a Canadian, I know that there are things that our country is doing to help support people who need access to abortion. And I know that there is a system in place that they are doing so women can come here if they have the resources and in order to come here and get an abortion. So I am in full support of that, and I will be putting my money where my mouth is. I already donate each month to a women's shelter, but I'm also going to be directing a donation to whatever thing I can here in Canada that is going to facilitate the help of that. So I just wanted to be super clear and for you to know that my page is a safe place. So that's heavy. And I wanted to talk about like showing up when things like this happen in the world, because it's the same thing for when stuff happens in your life. And you feel like it's hard for you to show up. And first of all, I just want you to know that you don't have to speak on something if you don't know what to say. You can even say that. You can say, this is where I stand. I don't know enough about this to go on passionately and talk about this kind of stuff, but this is what I think. And I'm here for whoever needs me. You know what I mean? Like, especially as a coach, you are a leader, and I think there are people looking to you to like see what you have to say. And you know, if you have the fear of being called out or found out, which we talk about a lot in this podcast, that's a real fear. And just know that if you were to actually tap into that, it's the fear of being like outcasted. But you can take time. You can take time to even think about what you want to say and how you want to say it. You can do some typing on a blank screen. You don't have to talk to the camera, you know what I mean? But like, if it's important to you to say something, to know where your audience stands, I think that's good. But don't feel compelled to do it right away. Don't feel pressure to do it right away. You can take your time, and you can do things in your own time as well. And just remember, like, think about what kind of coach your soulmate client wants and is like looking up to, and think about how would she react in this situation, right? That's really important to always step into. Speaking of stepping into, that I think is an example of stepping into like that highest version of you. It's not always easy, but it is something that will help you create the results in your business that you truly want, because you are acting as if, and you are collapsing time by acting as if your highest self would act, right? And that is the work that we're doing in the From Imposter to Empowered program. Also, I have to say too that like it's so important for us to have resources right now and to make money and to run our businesses. I think it's really important, because when you have resources, you can affect change. When you have resources, you can do really good things in the world. And you can't do that if you don't got no money. You know, like you can't do anything if you don't have money. So the From Imposter to Empowered program is here to help you step into that leadership position, to help you step into your highest self and to get rid of all the gunk and the bullshit that is blocking your ability to attract and sign soulmate clients. We do the mindset, we do the inner work, and we do the aligned strategy through attraction marketing and feel good sales, so you can, like I said, attract and sign those soulmate clients and build your business and actually realize that you can do this. It was not that long ago, only like a couple years ago, when I was in my cubicle at my government job, watching YouTube clips of To All the Boys I've Loved Before, because I was obsessed with that movie at the time. And I remember being like, it was the beginning of like 2020, right before the pandemic hit, and I was just like, will I ever actually make enough money to do this? Like, it was so sporadic. I was making nothing, and I just kept going, and I was able to hit my first 10K month in May of 2020, when I had made 2K in March, and then it just exploded from there. But it was all a result of my like directed efforts, my manifesting, my focusing on my goals, my stepping into my highest self every single day despite being exhausted, despite having undiagnosed ADHD, and I put all of this work into the From Imposter to Empowered program. So I love you, and I really want to hang out with you and meet you. I get so many downloads on these podcasts now. So many downloads. Like, I'm almost at 15,000 downloads for the whole podcast, when we just hit 10,000 like not that long ago. And I can't wait to work with you inside of the From Imposter to Empowered program. It's 16 weeks. It's a group program. The investment is $3,333 over 4 months, and there is a payment plan, and you actually save $111 on your investment when you join the waitlist. So go to the waitlist at the link in my show notes and jump on there. I just wanted to do that little aside. What else? I also wanted to say too that I am launching the From Imposter to Empowered program, and like, launching is really scary, right? Like, I haven't launched a program since last November, and it was because I was restructuring, really figuring out what I wanted to sell. I was also having a really hard time. I was going through some depression and going through a lot of shit after like so many things happening in my personal life, a lot of things happening with my business, really figuring out who I was in terms of stepping into an identity of a multiple six-figure earner. Like, that was not something that is like learnable. Is that a word? I really freaked out a little bit with that success, and I had to go through it. And I actually had an Instagram post that I posted today. When I'm recording this, it's Monday, and you're listening to it on Thursday. But I had an Instagram post that was like, do you feel like you hate your business? Do you want to like quit your business? Are you experiencing a lot of fear and self-doubt? I smell a breakthrough coming. I smell a rebirth coming. And that's exactly what happened. Is I had a lot of awakenings, I had a lot of breakthroughs, and I am so happy to say that I came out the other side of it. And like, there was no other option for me, and I need you to remember that too, is that like, when you are committed to your business, there is no other option than for it to work. If you are telling yourself like, I don't know if this is gonna work, I feel for you, but we need to get that shit in order. You need to recommit to your business every day like it's your fucking long-term boyfriend who pisses you off and leaves socks on the floor Dustin does this really annoying thing where he gets a glass of water every night and then he leaves it by his fucking bedside every single night. Who picks that up? Me. Because I love a tidy home. Oh, he also takes off his shorts and he leaves them around the side of the bed. That's why his side of that is the side where nobody can see. But like, you also have to recommit to your relationship every day, because your relationship is an active, ongoing thing, right? It's not something that you can just leave and not nurture. And the same thing goes for your business. Your business is an active, ongoing participation and a commitment, and you have to recommit to your business. And even if you have to do that every single day, if you have yourself on some arbitrary timeline, if you have yourself on some like, well, if this launch doesn't go the way that I want it to, I guess I'm just throwing in the towel. Check yourself if you have those subconscious thoughts, if you have thoughts, if those are coming up for you right now, being like, fuck, I've been doing that to myself. Like, I've been putting a timeline on it, or I've been telling myself if I don't sign this client, or if I don't go through with this launch, or if this launch flops, you're already setting yourself up to fail. You really are. And my point to this is lost. My point to this is completely lost. But you need to commit to your business. You need to commit to your business every single day. It's because I was talking about what happened with me. So there was no doubt in my mind that I would ever come out of this on the other side. And the same thing has to go for you. Like, you will experience a breakthrough. You will have a spiritual awakening. You will have the moment where things feel easier. You will get through the shame and you will sign a client. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And we do that. We do the work for you to actually facilitate those breakthroughs and to get through the gunk so you can actually sign fucking clients and build your business. You know what? You can't build your business unless you sign clients, right? So you have to do that step first. I was also talking to, this is really random, but I mean, that's the whole point of this podcast. I was talking to a client and she was being like, I feel like my content isn't good. I feel like it's not going well. And I gave her a little bit of advice. And here's the advice that I gave her that I really want to give to you. One, if you were to read your own content, would you be like, I got something out of this? Would you read it and be like, this gave me an inspiration boost, or this helped open my eyes to something that I didn't realize before, or this gave me a fuck ton of knowledge, right? And I really believe that all of your content is very valuable, like even when you're selling. But look at it and be like, is my content valuable? First, you have to like look at the stories that you believe are behind giving value, because if you yourself don't believe that what you have to say is valuable, of course you're going to have a skewed perception on this. But if you can look at it objectively and be like, if I was my soulmate client, and this is why it's really important to get really specific on like, who is your soulmate client? And we do that in the From Imposter to Empowered program. By the way, we have a whole process and thing that is way more than just the ideal client. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much deeper than that. If you were your soulmate client and they were looking at your content, did they get inspiration? Did they learn something new? Did you uncover something that they didn't realize? Did you give them a new perspective on something? Like, really ask yourself those questions when you're looking at your content. And two, are you enacting big deal energy whenever you show up for your posts? I teach like a preparation, like a showing up ritual kind of thing in my containers. Oh, I'm tired today. In terms of showing up for like online, to sell your offers, to show up and do content. And something that I really focus on is like getting yourself into the energy of like that highest version of yourself, because when you show up as her in your content, you feel like the it's almost like an electrical current with your content. Like you put it out and you're like, fuck, that was really good. That is going to get me a client, or that is going to get me a click on my website. Like, they are going to fucking love this. You can almost feel that. And I work to feel that every time that I post, right? It doesn't always happen, but I work to feel that every time that I post, that electrical current of like, fuck yes, this is coming from like the deepest part of me, right? And that can come from something that I've already written and that I'm just like getting into the energy of, putting it into the world and being really excited about it, right? And I enact my big deal energy. I step into my highest self, and I think like somebody really needs to hear this, because if you are looking at yourself with disdain, if you're looking at yourself like you're not good enough, or you're not a leader, or who are you to say that, of course your content is gonna fucking fall flat. Of course you're gonna feel like your content isn't working, because you yourself are not seeing yourself as the expert, as the leader, as your highest self. And of course it's not gonna transmute, because that's what energy does. It connects you to people, and you connect with people through your content, right? And also to question the fuck out of yourself as to why you think something is not working, because we never know what is working. And that's why it's so important to work on your own thoughts and your own mindset, because you could be thinking this is a crock of shit, and somebody could be saying this post changed my life, right? And the remedy to it is to continue to show up, to continue to do the things. But you can really talk yourself out of doing that if you are telling yourself that you're not good enough, if you're telling yourself that this content isn't good, right? With my client, I was like, yeah, you could do this and this and this and this, but like, I loved this reel you did, and I loved how you were showing up here. You know, like there's also a big piece to you showing up consistently, and your audience trusting that like you have content for them, and that you're there, and that you're showing up often, and that you're showing up for them. You know, like there is also such an emphasis on that as well. Of course it's important to be speaking to your soulmate client. Of course it's important to be providing content that is valuable, but also it's important for them to see that they can trust you. It's important for them to see that, oh, here she is again doing her same thing like she's been doing every single day, and she has the same niche, and she is like doing her thing. Like that builds trust with your audience, and people buy when they trust, right? I don't necessarily think that they always need to like it, but I think that if a soulmate client believes that you can help them, and they think that they can trust you to help them, then they're going to buy from you. And that can be scary and a lot of responsibility, and that's where the work on your imposter syndrome and on your working on your mindset comes in, because you need to believe that you can create a transformation, or you're going to reject yourself, or you're going to not show up, or you're going to be like, no, don't work with me when somebody gets on a sales call, you know? Anyways, I said a bunch of shit this episode. Get on the From Imposter to Empowered program waitlist. I can't wait to work with you. You'll save $111 on the investment of 3333 angel numbers. When you enroll, we open the doors on Thursday, July 14th. Only a couple more weeks, guys. And we're going to be in July the next time I talk to you. So let's fucking do this. Let's do this. Go hang out with me at Your Coach Jill on Instagram so you can see the behind the scenes of the launch. I love you so much. See you next time.